Sorry, folks, got my microphone back on there. Just to touch up on what I was saying there, we got several severe storms here in the area. Even got a dust storm warning for a few counties up here to the north. Visibilities have been brought down to 0 at times. And as you can see, 3 counties here, one wrapping up in just a few minutes there in Livingston counties. Just double checking. Can you guys hear me now? Because I still see a few comments jump. Okay, looks good. Okay, good. So we've got some severe thunderstorm warnings up there to the north. And that's bringing some of those strong gusts, kind of pushing that dust there out of the way. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. Again, dust storm warning for Livingston, Ford, and Iroquois counties. As visibilities have kind of been dropped down to 0 there in some spots. Really hard to see what's going on there. We're going to take a quick look at radar. Our Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty is out tonight. He's on his way to around Leroy. He's on his way down the interstate there to kind of intercept this kind of line of storms moving on in here with 60-mile-an-hour gusts associated with it there. So watching that as he approaches there, we'll switch our cameras around a little bit and take a look at what he's seeing right now. Looks like he's stopped off there on the side, just kind of watching things as they roll on in there. We'll get a little bit of a listen in from him here later on when we get to the 10 o'clock show here in just about 20 minutes or so. But just checking in here to see what the situation is at the moment. Just looking at our current radar picture. Up here to the north is where the action is at. Still plenty of storms still brewing down there into the southwest part of the area, but it's up here to the north. That's where things are kind of starting to go down here at the moment. Kind of a line there along I-57, starting to see those severe thunderstorm warnings light up there and north of I-74. These storms, again, a little bit of a ways away from actually arriving into these warning areas, but they've got those warnings well out there in advance just because of those gusts way out in front of these storms as they try to move on in here. So an assortment of warnings here, including blowing dust in the area. Certainly just an odd situation to be seeing all this, but here's what we're seeing right now as those storms not moving in with the fastest pace here. We'll kind of loop things around just a little bit. Kind of see again storms not moving at the fastest we've seen. Really, a lot of our storms today have not been very quick movers there, and that has led to some flash flooding problems at times. These right now moving about 35 miles an hour, so they've got a little bit more pace to them there, so maybe not quite as concerned with that risk. But the big thing to watch right now, like we said, that blowing dust as we start to get some rain there in the area, seeing that rain passing through Pontiac at the moment, kind of wet the ground a little bit, and it will take care of some of that dry ground and will prevent some of that blowing dust there from causing quite the issue. But we saw a video of it earlier. I mean, visibility is really dropping down. And that's the situation we're looking at as this pushes on to the southeast. We'll keep an eye on things to see if they decide to continue any of those dust storm warnings down to the southeast. But we've had a decent amount we've had rain get all the way up here to about Champaign County and maybe even over there to Vermilion County there last night. So not too concerned about that as we are up here to the north where they've kind of dodged the rain there a little bit. But that's what we're watching here at the moment.
Just to give you a heads up, there is a flash flood warning again for Springfield and area.
Flash flood warning back into Springfield.
All day.
We will pull that up here. We'll pull up our alerts box. Just get that to Jacob here in the studio as well, just in the background taking care of a few things there on the other computer. We'll bring up, going to kind of look like a little bit of a mess of a graphic here, but that's kind of what we're seeing. You see those flood warnings out there, just that swath containing parts of Cass, Menard, and Sangamon County down into Christian County as well. We've had rainfall well over 4 or 5 inches there in just a couple of concentrated spots that direction. Storms earlier were just they just weren't moving anywhere. They were just kind of one storm would barely push to the east just a little bit, and right behind it there would be another one there right in behind it just to continue to deliver rain there into the same spots over and over. So really, Sangamon County saw a lot of action here today and even saw quite a bit of hail out that direction as well. We had at one point near baseball-sized hail that direction. In particular, a place like Chatham even saw about 4 or 5 different storms there that produced over quarter-size hail. So we're watching those down there, but we're also keeping a close eye on the active warnings up here to the northeast. Again, 60-mile-an-hour gusts kicking up a little dust, and that is reducing visibilities by quite a bit here right now. So just watching those storms move in, we'll shorten our loop up here just a little bit, and just watch as those roll in here. Gonna see if Kevin's camera is up here. Just gonna kind of peek in and see. Looks like he's just kind of sitting back here at the moment. I'll look up where he's at here on the network just to kind of see. Again, we're going to listen into him here coming up in just a bit. He's right there, right next to Leroy there at the moment, kind of getting ready for that line of storms to roll on in. And it's going to get pretty windy down that direction, or should I say up that direction. So at the moment, keeping our eye up here to the north. We'll turn on a few cameras here. Let's see if we can get the Bloomington camera, see if we can get anything, get any visuals there on that. We'll put it in here to our feed. Just kind of see what there is to see. We've got the Bloomington and the normal camera there, so we've got a couple of different vantage points to look at. So we'll toss up the Bloomington one there. Again, seeing some rain smearing the lens just a little bit. Not seeing any kind of lightning there in the background just yet. Well, I'll kind of be watching that here for just a moment. We will switch now, just kind of peek at the normal cam as well, see if we can get anything kind of different popping up on there. Again, kind of the camera rocking around a little bit. Just a little bit of rain kind of passing into the area here at the moment. So we're keeping an eye there on those cameras to see if we can get any visuals out that way. Back here to our radar loop. Again, 60-mile-an-hour gusts. A little bit of hail here with these, but not quite like what we saw earlier as far as some of those larger hail sizes. But seeing those storms arrive right now, and it's just kind of, it is really a weird look to see these warning polygons without any sort of actual storm there within them just yet. And that's just because, like we said, those gusts well out ahead of these storms here is causing some issues already here into the nights, and already tough to see there through some of the darkness there. But of course, kicking up that dust, it's a bit of a problem. We'll check back in there on that warning as well. Again, till about 10:30 for both Ford and Iroquois County. Believe they have taken the Livingston County one off, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see once that pops up here. Yep. So there's that dust storm warning till 10:30, encompassing all of Ford County there, just kind of the western half of Iroquois County up along I-57 there. So definitely with some of the dust that's been kicked up there, just thinking about what happened there several days ago, just definitely want to make sure you're safe out there if you're driving up that direction or know anybody up there in that direction. Just definitely tell them there to stay safe and just kind of safely get to a spot there where you can kind of just ride out that dust there, that zero visibility in the area. Just wanting everyone to exercise caution up there, especially with storms on the way. With already being dark out the way it is, obviously just kind of a messy looking situation up there in that direction. Put our radar again here in motion. Slow things down. Well, we'll toss a little bit of lightning on there, just kind of see what we're dealing with here with some of that. We had quite the light show last night, and we've had a little bit of that here so far tonight as well. But yeah, definitely seeing a little bit going on, especially up there to the north. We're going to kind of look in here and see kind of where Kevin's at there and Leroy. Kind of a lesser part of the storm there, looking like things aren't quite as intense down that direction. But we'll be keeping an eye on Kevin's cam there to see what he can come up with. So he is up there in Leroy around the McLean County region there, watching as that severe warning storm passes on in, along with some pretty strong gusts blowing on in through the area as well. So this is the scene of most of the action. We'll take that lightning off there to stop cluttering the screen. Down there to the southwest, Sangamon County, I mean, still continuing to see rain out that direction. Places really just all along I-72 and up I-55 there, just that little junction in Sangamon County there has just been hit by hailstones left and right. Had about 4 or 5 different storms there with severe thunderstorm size hail, an inch or greater in diameter, as well as just a concentrated spot there in the very southeast part of the county where we had rainfall totals, according to the radar, upwards of 5 or 6 inches there. So lots piling up down there that direction. Of course, got those flash flood warnings in effect down there for a little while as we keep an eye on things. Kind of wave 1 here of our storms. There's another series of storms here back behind this. Going to kind of be another line into the overnight hours here tonight. Kind of looking well into the morning there tomorrow morning. As far as our storm chances, still seeing that line pass on through as late as 8 in the morning there. So going to be another night here of just kind of watching radar and keeping everybody informed up ahead of these storms here. The main region kind of crossing over that I-55 corridor here right now, that line of storms. Sure that things are starting to get pretty windy there, southeast of the interstate, and of course well out ahead of it there where Those gusts have prompted, again, a dust storm warning, just something you don't see very often, but with visibilities down to 0, of course, just kind of forced the hand there of the Weather Service to put that out there just because it's a bit of a dangerous situation to be out there in the dark with dust kicking up too. The kind of acts almost like a big time fog, whether it's daylight or nighttime there. You get the headlights just right there onto the dust. It's just too hard to see anything there. So exercising caution out here in this part of the area. I'm going to turn on the Gibson City cam here real quick. We've got a little bit of lightning popping up on there, but also just to kind of check and see the visibility, see if there is any kind of problems there. It doesn't look like anything here on this camera. It doesn't look too terribly windy up there at the moment. We'll kind of just watch this for a sec, see if we can catch any kind of, I see the storms kind of brewing up there in the background as they're still a good distance away from the Gibson City cam here. But on its way here into parts of Ford County and pushed on through McLean County here as we speak. Put it back on radar here. And kind of assessing the situation there. Again, a lot of this line from about Bloomington all the way up I-55 there, even up towards Kankakee there north of Iroquois County. Got just this long line of severe warnings here for those gusts upwards of 60 miles an hour. I don't believe we are seeing anything significant here as far as hail goes. It really is just the wind threat that has prompted some of these 60-plus mile-an-hour gusts, and of course making for a little bit of a tricky situation with dust reducing visibility there into the area as well. So this is where the activity is here. We've got about 10 minutes or so before our 10 o'clock show gets on. What we'll probably do here is we'll probably keep the stream rolling. We will feed the newscast here onto the live stream as well. So get a little bit of the news tossed in there as well. But you will hear from Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty as he is out there in Leroy, kind of watching as this line of storms move on in. And we have, of course, have a report there of what he's seeing down at his location there. But again, all up along I-55, probably starting to get some of that heavy rains, feeling those winds really start to kick up here. Places like Fairbury, Sonneman there in the path of some of these storms, Emmington, Cullum up there as well, Pleasant Ridge. So these moving in at a better pace than what we've seen some other storms, about 35 miles an hour there with a little bit of that southeastern movement. And we're watching things. I got someone in here talking about a little worry down there in Danville. These storms, yeah, kind of heading that direction here. Again, plenty of time between now and then, but just keeping that in mind as we get deeper into the night here, already about to cross the 10 o'clock hour. As we get deeper and deeper into the night, obviously leading our way there into Monday, start of the work week there. People, of course, are probably wanting to get to bed at a good time tonight to get ready for the week ahead. But I definitely want to keep one eye open, so to speak, here when you go to bed tonight. Just have those notifications set to go there on your phone. Have your weather radio handy there. Anything that can wake you up in the night too, if needed, for to get you the urgent information that you may need there to stay safe here in these storms. Got a few people.
That video at 10 also.
Got to have that video of the blowing dust.
The dust storm one.
Okay, so we're going to have we got footage sent in to us of the zero visibility there.
First weather or main weather?
For what are you saying? Have what?
You want that dust storm video?
You can put that just off the top, so that way,
The first
right away.
weather or main weather?
Forecast first is where we can put it.
Forecast first or first weather? You have three things. Forecast first, you have first weather at the top, and then you have main weather. So it's forecast first.
Okay, yeah. Do first weather then, yes.
Okay.
Kind of getting the logistics of the 10 o'clock show figured out here. That's what we were saying here in the background. Anyway, back to what we're looking at here. Severe thunderstorm warnings. Everything's staying north of 74 here at the moment. So that's kind of how we're kind of the direction that we're looking at here as far as what we're seeing some people talking about here. Piatt County, Vermilion County as well. It's kind of already on its way in there. I would guess, again, 35 miles an hour there. Within the next, we'll ballpark it maybe at like 30 or 45 minutes, might start to see some of that storm try to poke on in there to northern Piatt County. As far as Vermilion County, you got a lot of time here. These warnings, as far as the Fort Iroquois County ones go, these are set to expire, I believe, if they haven't changed those. Yeah, still set to expire pretty late at 10:45. So if those are just expiring there by the time we hit 10:45, those are just now leaving Ford and Iroquois counties. Of course, is not going to be able to not going to be able to get to Vermilion County until past that time there. So 60-mile-an-hour gusts is what we're seeing. No indications of any kind of big hail, maybe a little bit of some small stuff mixed in there, but not seeing any of the pinks that we saw embedded in these storms earlier. I'm sure there's a little bit there falling on the ground, but nothing quite as big as what we saw down there west of the area. Just some strong winds, kicking up some dust, and making for a little bit of a difficult situation to be out driving in there. So just definitely want to exercise caution. Have everyone be careful there if you are driving around. We've got about 5 minutes till showtime here, so we're just going to kind of put a bow on things just a little bit before we pause for the start of the show here, and then of course we will get you that feed there of the newscast so that we can follow along with the live weather here on the digital platforms as well. So that way we don't leave anybody in the dark here. Whether you choose to watch on Channel 3, we'll be on there in 4 or 5 minutes there. Or if you decide to keep watching us here on the stream, we're going to route stuff to where you'll be able to hear the newscast from the live stream here. So we will not be leaving you anywhere in the dark there. Just going to kind of look at a few things there, getting ready, getting that 10 o'clock show stuff figured out here. Just making sure that we have everything loaded up that needs to be. We're going to see here on all of this. Getting a few things arranged here. I'm going to talk to my camera man here real quick, guys. Rob, do you know if they're getting Kevin's audio for the first weather, or is that the main weather they're getting his feed for?
I can ask. Are we getting Kevin's audio for first weather? They already have his audio.
But are we kicking it to him during first weather? I didn't know how they wanted to do that.
And are we kicking it to him during the first weather?
We're gonna. We are kicking it.
Not forecast first, but the next.
We will send it to Kevin.
Intro.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off my microphone here, guys. We're gonna kind of get ready here for the 10 o'clock newscast. So it'll be quiet here for just a moment, but we'll pick up things here once the 10 o'clock show starts here. So we'll loop the feed into that, and you will be able to still watch it here on the digital platforms.
This is your WCIA 3 forecast first, sponsored by Route 66 Solar.
Well, storms picking up a little bit here as we roll on into the evening hours, crossing the 10 o'clock hour. See here on our radar cutout here, plenty of storms starting to march on in. We've got a line of them starting to roll on into the area. And one unique thing to watch for here, we've got blowing dust here. We've got dust storm warnings in effect for Ford and western Iroquois County here. Visibility reported near zero at times. It's just kind of the gusts here with these storms have pushed up some of the dust there in that region and has dropped those visibilities down to zero thanks to just those dry conditions that we've been seeing. We're going to kind of look around at the current situation. We've got several severe thunderstorm warnings up here in the northeast where you're seeing some of that blowing dust there, parts of Livingston, Ford, and Iroquois counties as well. Those warnings are set out there till about till a little later on, about 10:30, 10:45 here tonight. Also watching some storms down here to the southeast as well. Tracking storms throughout the night could be a problem well into the morning there tomorrow till around 8 o'clock. Still seeing a chance for some storms. WCI 3 News at 10 o'clock starts right now.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
Thanks for being here for your local news at 10. I'm Marley Capper. Due to the severe storm warnings in the area, we're going to send things back to Seth. Seth, what do you got for us?
Well, one thing I just want to reiterate there, I know I talked about it very briefly at the top of the show, but this blowing dust, these dust storm warnings, obviously with what happened here in the last few days with the blowing dust there around I-55, playing this one cautiously. There's some gusts ahead of these storms that are just really blowing up the dust and reducing visibilities to zero. And we actually have a little bit of footage there. This is around I-39 near El Paso, if we can get that pulled up there, with some of the dust blowing up there and again reducing visibilities down to about zero there. If we do have that footage popped up here, if we can get that put in. Again, visibility near zero around I-39 there. That is the video. Again, just almost impossible to see what's going on. Already difficult enough there at night. Of course, with the headlights there, kind of almost like a fog situation there with seeing that dust there right in front of the screen. So obviously a little bit of a tricky situation out that direction. Want to emphasize safety. If you know anybody that is out and about there or just up that direction, definitely tell them to stay safe here with the visibilities being reduced. And of course, some severe storms there rolling back into the area. Just going to get one last quick look there at that radar loop. Severe storms up there to the northeast, 60-mile-an-hour gusts there, causing a little bit of some severe weather here so far into the night. So, Marley, we're going to send it back over to you.
All right, Seth, thank you so much. Now to our top story of the day.
That apparently there was a mob and
U of I students got an Illini alert early this morning saying 2 students were attacked in Campus Town and the suspects flashed a handgun. Good evening, I'm Marley Capper. 2 people are behind bars because of it. One of them is 20-year-old Kavion Watkins. The other is a 15-year-old. It happened near East Green and 3rd Streets. WCIA 3's Scarlett O'Hara joins us. Scarlett, tell us what happened.
University police say a man jumped out at a female student, and when her male friend tried to intervene, several people started punching him. That's why police say the emergency alert called it an incident of mob action. Illinois criminal law defines it as 2 or more people engaging in violence. They estimate at least 3 or 4 people were involved, and that one man flashed a handgun in his waistband. That's when the group of attackers ran off. Officers pulled over a car down the street and found 2 people who matched witness descriptions. 20-year-old Kavion Watkins told police he had a gun. When officers searched the car, they also found an extended magazine. He was arrested for aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, aggravated battery, and mob action. Several students I spoke with say while it's concerning to hear about violence in Campus Town, they aren't surprised when it happens on Green Street.
the most amount of alerts that I've seen happen in anywhere, in and around Green Street. If it's not exactly Green Street, it's possibly the street right next to Green, So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of something that all students know, that things happen around Green.
Police also found a second loaded handgun on the floor of the back seat. They learned it belonged to the 15-year-old suspect who was taken to a juvenile detention center. Police say the male student who was attacked received several non-life-threatening lacerations and was taken to the hospital. The female student was pushed to the ground during the attack. Marley.
All right, Scarlett, thank you. A Mahomet family is displaced tonight after their basement caught fire. It happened on North Lake of the Woods Road near the intersections of Dennis Drive this afternoon. Homeowners called to report the fire around 5:15 this evening. The Corn Belt Fire Protection District Chief says firefighters saw smoke moving through the basement, first and second floors of the house. They found the fire in the main room of the basement and were quickly able to extinguish it.
Our first engine in advanced the hose line to the front door. I was able to locate the basement stairs pretty quick. Again, the homeowners having that information for us right off the bat is very helpful. So we were able to get in. That crew got in pretty quick. Got the fire knocked down in just minutes, really.
He says nobody was hurt and that fire is under investigation. A 45-year-old Springfield man has died after his motorcycle collided with a vehicle. That happened on the intersection of West Lawrence Avenue and South Walnut Street yesterday. His name has not been released yet. It's under investigation. Thousands of motorcyclists made their way to Central Illinois this weekend for the 31st annual Blessing of the Bike. WCIA 3 Ariana Williams has more.
It's the time of year these riders have been waiting for. But before bikers start to hit the road, they're being covered with blessings.
You know, a lot of people think we're blessing bikes. No, that's not it. We're actually getting into people's lives and we're talking to them about what's going on in their life. We want to bless them.
The blessing of the bikes started small but has grown since 1993.
It just grew year by year by year. And it's, as you can hear, it's an experience.
And now there's so many motorcycles now that are all different cups and stuff.
Glenn Spain was one of the original members of the Christian Motorcycle Association, and now he still comes around to help deliver the kind words.
It grows all the time. It's hard to find anybody that doesn't do that now because they all enjoy doing it.
A lot of times the church can't really do that in the same manner that we can because we eat, live, and breathe the same language, i.e. motorcycles.
This relatable reason is why thousands of riders from all over travel to get a blessing in Forsyth. Casey Lore says it's not just about faith, but about safety.
Is because motorcyclists are always in danger on the road. We're the ones who have to deal with other traffic and other people on the road. And so it's a kind of a boost for the individual rider.
Riders like Kelly Whittington. She turned to riding when life got tough.
And then my mother got cancer and passed away. And I was trying to deal with my grief.
She did that by taking the safety course, getting on her bike, and hitting the road. Riding was her way of regaining control, and these blessings serve as a small prayer to keep it.
It is an opportunity for me to be with other people who have, like minds, who enjoy riding.
They already started prep for next year. If you missed today's blessing, give Kozira a call and you can be blessed on site. Illinois is hosting the Big Ten softball tournament for the first time in program history, but the team is just looking further in this weekend. And it's bird spotting week in Champaign, how you can get on the fun. But first, Seth joins us. Man, I mean, we went from never having a dust storm warning to having several in the past few days. What's going on?
Yeah, it's really weird. Not something you see very often there, but obviously what happened a few days ago, just kind of err on the side of caution here. Those storms really starting to kick up those little dust particles there, as we saw there in the video. Here in just a bit, we're going to go live here to Kevin Lighty. He's down there in Leroy on the scene, seeing as storms rolling in. Stick around.
Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with forecaster Seth Bohnhoff.
We've got a handful of severe warned storms up here in the northeast, parts of Livingston, Ford, and Iroquois counties. But we've got Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty out there on the scene. He's out there in the StormTracker near Leroy. So, Kevin, looks like winds have really picked up there.
Yeah, I made my way just down the road from Leroy to Downs here, but you can see how the winds have picked up here. Some heavy rainfall as we've been driving along, and quite a bit of lightning as well. But we just kind of stopped off at the gas station there right off of 74 there in Downs, and you can see that heavy rain. It'll come in spurts, really kind of kicking up. And again, no dust here where we're located, but it has definitely been quite windy out here. A couple different kind of waves of that coming through. You got the gust front, and then of course when that heavy rain moves through as well. We're going to continue to make our way across the area tonight and keep track of just what all is going on with these strong thunderstorms. Quite a bit of wind, quite a bit of lightning, and we'll keep you updated here. But I know you've got even stronger storms that are actually just to my north and east. Seth, we'll send it back to you.
All right, appreciate the view from down there on the ground, Kevin. Appreciate it a lot there. So, again, just to kind of recap, see those strong storms up there in the northeast, still severe warned there. Also, just like you said, that strong wind. You saw it there on his camera. It's kicking up that dust. Again, just a reminder, that dust storm warning till 10:30 there for both Ford and Iroquois counties. Just kind of a weird situation here tonight. Also, to keep in mind, severe thunderstorm watch continues until midnight. Kind of got a C shape there, just kind of where those storms are at right now as they dive in from the northwest, and also have a few hanging around down there on the western side of the area as well. We're going to look here into the rest of the nights here briefly. Got that slight risk across pretty much the entire area well into the night here tonight. Here's just a look at the future track to kind of time things out. Here's where we're at right now. We've got those storms diving in there from the northwest as we continue to move on close to the midnight hour and into around 2 a.m. Just kind of a general cluster here of storms, but we're watching close to sunrise there, and even afterwards up there from the northwest, another big line pushing on in there with some strong winds as the risk that we're watching here the most. So taking a look here at our potential risks, pretty much everything on the board. Tornadoes a little bit lower of a threat there. We're not too concerned about that, but we've seen some flooding, we've seen some strong gusts, and we've seen some large hail here in the area. So those are all systems go. They're just watching those chances here tonight. We also do have a chance I want to bring up here just briefly for some severe weather tomorrow. Got kind of that line of storms just concentrated down there into the southern part of the region. That one also looking to bring its own kind of a separate severe weather risk there with that. But obviously watching things tonight, we're going to continue to track that here well into the night. It's just a weird time frame there. Again, from about now all the way now to about even 8 in the morning there, just watching as these storms roll on in here. Again, 3 active severe thunderstorm warnings up there to the northeast with the strong winds, the primary threat, but plenty of strong storms hanging out here towards the west around Sangamon County, getting upwards of 5 inches of rain there. There's just been some storms that were kind of just trained on each other. So we've got large hail in several places. We had all kinds of rain. And of course, we got some of that blowing dust and current warnings up there. So a lot to keep track on here throughout the night. That one last chance for some storms tomorrow night before things finally calm on down here. Looking like some nice weather to start off the beginning of the week, Tuesday and Wednesday, with some sunnier skies and some more mild temperatures. So the night's just getting started here. We're going to keep an eye on things and keep everyone updated there on our digital platforms after this.
All right, Seth, thanks so much. We'll be right back.
from your local news leader, Marley Capper. Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with forecaster Seth Bohnhoff and Andy Olson on sports. You're watching WCIA 3 News at 10.
Shoppers in Monticello got to stroll through the city's annual Spring Boutique and Bash and outdoor market today. The event organizer says they turned Main Street into a vendor fair with lots of home and garden shops. You can find anything from stained glass to tiaras to pet treats, all downtown. She says it's a good way to support local businesses and enjoy live music and nice weather.
We like to do something that kind of gets people outdoors, gets people in downtown Monticello, spotlights our storefronts that we have, spotlights the vendors that we have, and we have so many here that are just a wide variety, but basically showcase our downtown. And if there's an opportunity for our storefronts to do that and our small businesses in the area, you know, it's perfect. The weather was great.
She says they always host this event around Mother's Day, but if you miss today, there will be several more throughout the year. It's bird spotting week for Champaign County, and Audubon Society is holding its annual birdathon. It's a week-long fundraiser for Kendi Memorial Fund. Teams go out and search for many bird species as they can find while collecting pledges. The money then goes to help organizations with grants to fund research involving birds in Illinois.
Well, I've been involved with it for 40 years, and I guess I was one of the first birdathon people. I guess we were looking for something that would be impactful, and over the years it has had a considerable impact on the bird life in Illinois.
She says this year she's looking for a new birdathon partner. We'll have ways to join over on our website. All right, Brett joins us. It's Sunday, means your Sunday sports wrap's coming up.
Yeah, busy show ahead. Stick around as we have Illinois baseball and softball highlights. Plus, we're highlighting one of the nation's best, not just areas, but nation's best prep prospects. A whole lot of MLB scouts in Central Illinois. More on that next.
watching Sunday Sports Wrap on WCIA3 News.
Illinois softball gets the chance to host the Big Ten tournament for the first time in program history this week in Urbana. The Illini started the weekend, though, with a chance of missing an invite, but thanks to a Purdue loss, Illinois locked and loaded into that 12th and final seed despite the outcome of today's regular season finale against Maryland. The Illini trying to avoid a Terps sweep. Terps strike in the top of the second off the bat of Trinity Schlotterbeck. Sends a shot to right center for the solo home run. Then Sammy Woods lines an RBI double down the line in left. All part of a 3-run frame for Maryland. Illinois does get out of it, though, thanks to some defense. Sidney Mallett behind the plate. A great throw to second. Tag down in time. Runner is out, but Illinois falls 6-1 the final. They finish the regular season 28-26. So here's a look at the Big Ten tournament. Illinois down here in that 12 seed. They will face Wisconsin on Wednesday. That is the late game scheduled for a 7 o'clock first pitch. You see these games here on Wednesday. These are Thursday games. Northwestern, the top seed, Indiana 2, Minnesota 3, and there's Nebraska at number 4. Illinois or Wisconsin will take on the Huskers. That game is Thursday. Meanwhile, Illinois baseball goes for a sweep over Michigan State this afternoon. Spartans threatening, but TJ Concertina gets the orange and blue out of the inning with the strikeout. The reliever factors into the decision as well thanks to the Illini long ball. 4-3 game in the 6th when Camden Janik sends a high fly to left. No one is even in the neighborhood. That's it. Long gone. Not even a doubt about that one. Part of a 6-home run day for the Illini. Ryan Moorman, the hero on Friday night, you may remember, the walk-off. He sends another ball to the wall, 6-3 at that point. Illinois adds 4 more, and they win 10-3 the final. They're now back to 500 on the season at 22-22. Parker Detmers is writing his own story. His family is full of baseball players. His father made it to AAA. Parker's brother Reed, currently in the big leagues, is a pitcher for the Angels. And as WCIA3's Andy Olson shows us, the younger Detmers has big plans to follow suit.
Parker Detmers hasn't been perfect in his senior year at Glenwood. But the top 150 MLB draft prospect has discovered he doesn't need to be.
I was just pressing way too much. I was just going out there I have to be perfect.
Overcoming a shaky start to the season, Detmers has found his rhythm helping lead the Titans to first place in the Central State 8. Being one of the most coveted high school arms in the country comes with its pros and cons, though.
It's been kind of hectic a little bit. It's really fun, though.
But having watched his older brother Reed go through this process 7 years ago is a comforting feeling for the righty.
I definitely go by his mistakes. He hasn't really had many. He made it to the big leagues in half a year, but just going off, seeing what he did and trying to just build off of it.
And seeing Reed there, that's what he wants to do, and he thinks that he can do it, and the sky's the limit for him.
With Reed now in the majors with the Los Angeles Angels and his other brother Drew playing at Millikan, Parker can make it 3 Detmers brothers pitching in college with his commitment to Louisville, the same place that Reed played in college.
It's pretty much my second home now. I mean, I've been going there since I was like 5th grade.
Equipped with a fastball that reaches 94 miles per hour and a curveball that buckles the opposition's knees, major league teams are eyeing Parker for a high draft pick this summer, setting up a big decision whether to go to school or jump right into professional baseball.
I've been through it myself, playing the minor league level. It's just seeing if he's mature enough, mentally to make it through that.
I don't really worry about it until June. I just always dreamed of being in the big leagues. I mean, I'm just putting 100% effort into making the big leagues. I mean, that's my goal, so I'm going to put everything into it.
Until then, Detmers is focused on leading the Titans back to state to avenge their second-place finish a season ago. Reporting in Chatham, Andy Olson, WCIA 3 Sports.
Plenty of local talent across the area. Detmers and Muhammad Seymour's Blake Walters, both guys who will likely have decisions to make this summer about whether to turn pro or go to school. Effingham's Josh McDevitt, a potential draft guy as well with a 90s fastball. And Arcola's Tanner Thomas, up-and-comer, just a sophomore but already committed to Louisville. We're halfway home on the Sunday Sports Wrap. After a quick timeout, we're back with a day in baseball as the Cubs look for a sweep of the fish, while former Cub Wilson Contreras gets delegated to the DH. In St. Louis, the Redbirds trying not to get swept and lose their 9th straight game. Plus stops on the course and track. All next. The St. Louis Cardinals are looking for answers. Things have not gone according to plan 34 games in. 10-24 record to start today, worst in the NL, and the longest losing skid in 16 years. Combine that with big splash free agent signing of Wilson Contreras, now delegated to DH, and the Redbirds have a lot to figure out in short order as they look to avoid getting swept by the Tigers this afternoon. And Paul Goldschmidt almost single-handedly takes care of it all. First inning homer, just the start of a memorable day for the Cardinals slugger. That's because he does it again in the third, this time sending a ball to right center. It's a 3-0 game at this point, and after the Tigers score 6 straight, the Redbirds answer with 7 straight of their own, including this 2-run homer from who else? Goldschmidt. This one in the 8th puts it out of reach for Detroit. Goldschmidt with homers to left, center, and right. The third 3-homer game of his career leads to a 12-6 double-up win for St. Louis. The Cubs go for a sweep of the Fish at Wrigley. Let's go straight to the bottom of the 10th. Nico Horner at the plate, singling to score rookie Matt Mervis. We are heading to the 11th, tied at 3. We actually skip ahead to the 13th. After a scoreless 2 frames, Ian Happ gets his turn to come through. He's clutch, sending a ball to center. We're knotted up at 4. Marlins threatening in the 14th. And you see some crazy stuff in baseball all the time. Add this to the list. The game decided on this play, a balk. Adbert Alzolay called for it. Chicago can't get the tying run across in the bottom half. 5-4 the final. They fall in 14, the longest game for the Cubs since 2019. The White Sox wrap up a series in Cincy. They trailed in the second, but not for long. Inning was more than good to Chicago. Hanser, oh boy, Alberto gets the fun started with a homer to make it 2-1. Andrew Vaughn then keeps the rally going. The 2-run triple. The lead grows to 6-1, and the Sox not even close to being done yet. Still in the second inning, Gavin Sheets keeps the fun alive. It's an 11-run inning. The 3-run homer here by Sheets. This all in the second. The most runs scored in one frame in 16 years. Third most by the franchise all time. They still weren't done. Added 6 more in the game, 17-4. To the Lynx at the final round of the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow in Charlotte. Wyndham Clark started the day with a 2-shot lead over Xander Schauffele, and it grows to 4 by the time he rolls this birdie putt in on the 12th, and it's a beaut, Clark. He's taking the trophy with him when he leaves next month. Buy an RV, Wyndham, as he scores his first PGA Tour victory, shooting 68 today, outlasting Schauffele by 4 at 19 deep. And we wrap up on the track with the NASCARs rolling through Kansas for the Advent Health 400. Towards the end of the stage 2, when Kyle Busch spins out in the 8 car, Cheddar's car. I love it there. Then Kyle Larson, the led for a race-high 85 laps, but he is passed in the final lap by Denny Hamlin. As some fireworks late, Hamlin wins it. That'll do it for us tonight. Have a great night.
Alrighty, welcome back in, folks. We'll get back into things here. Camera up on us here. Yep. So just kind of tracking our current situation there as we wrap up things there with the newscast. Just one area where we're following severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm going to just kind of take a close look here at the most recent scans. That one well into Iroquois County there at the moment. Places like Watsika there in the path of that, and just kind of we'll put this in motion here for just a little bit, just to illustrate something. Put it just about the last hour there, and we'll send things, we'll get things moving there. So we can kind of see just the way these storms are moving. Again, they're not moving just down a straight path. They've kind of got some weird directional turns to them there. You see a place like Watseka kind of just being sat underneath all that rain. You can see in a couple places there along I-57 where the rain isn't just kind of passing through and making its way on out. It's kind of staying put there for a little bit. So it's kind of something to watch. The flood risk has been a bit higher here today as the storms slow moving in the first place, and on top of that, also seeing those storms kind of just replace one after the other. A real big problem with that has been over in Sangamon County. We're just going to take a look at the general shot here of the area right now. Kind of got two areas where we're concentrated on some storms here at the moment. One all the way up in the northeast, way up there along I-57. Another one down here to the southwest, still where that center of attention has been throughout much of the day there, with that rain just continuing to dump in that direction, as well as seeing some pretty big hail there. That was all earlier, though. Right now, we're just kind of dealing with some stronger winds. And we'll take a quick peek up here, just kind of toss on the velocity here. Put that on. Just kind of see, again, some of those brighter colors definitely getting a bit gusty here as we look on up here to the northeast with the remaining severe storms. Some of those brighter colors there getting those severe storm level gusts up in there. We had a live shot there of Kevin earlier, where he was just out near Downs, kind of in the central part of the area, and he's on the road there right now. We can see his view there as well. So he's kind of taking a look at the situation. I'm going to try to see where at he is now. He's probably not too much further than what we saw him earlier there. It's looking like he is somewhere between Leroy and Farmer City there right now. So that's his view of things at the moment as he's out on the ground taking a look at things. Again, pretty gusty conditions out that way. That's what he showed us earlier there with that live shot that he had. So he's still on the road there. We'll flip things back over to radar there and kind of just look in his general area. And most of the storms are concentrated up there to the northeast and down to the southwest. Kind of here in the middle, you're getting just that kind of that stratiform rain, but don't want to discount the winds. It's pretty breezy here. We'll see if we can just pull up our current gust map here. Just get a look at what some local stations here are reporting. Bring that up there. Yep, you see that little swath of gusts there, just around 30 or so miles an hour. Again, a lot of that there in the middle is underneath that severe status there, underneath that 58 mile an hour there. So watching as these winds intensify, obviously the strongest of winds up there northwest here of the area, kind of out there into more of the Peoria territory there, but definitely getting breezy there in Bloomington as well. We'll pull back up radar picture here. We'll just kind of see if we can catch anything here on some sky cams. I'm going to see what's going on down there in Sangamon County. I'm going to look at Springfield there. I'm going to get that camera turned around. And we'll get that feed up there. Got a couple of people asking about the Rantoul area here. Just looking in general here into the Champaign County region. Again, just looking like the storms are up there to the north, kind of just getting some of that rain. If anything, it's probably getting pretty windy out there. If I had to suspect, yeah, there's a bit of lightning there packed in there as well. Nothing too serious with that, but just the occasional rumble of thunder there, associated lightning as well. So kind of just lighter in stuff as far as the actual storm content goes. Maybe a bit breezy there in the middle around the Champaign County area, as well as much of the center of the area. But kind of watching these storms here, not severe storms, but they're definitely looking like they've been on the stronger side of things down south of Springfield. Again, I'll wheel that camera around here and we'll get a look that direction here. We will move things here to, we'll take a full screen here, keep that radar image up there for just a moment while we angle things south of Springfield. I'm expecting to see a bit of lightning here on this cam, and as we turn around there, that's exactly what we're seeing. So we'll pop that up here for you real quick. Just gonna have you take a look, and this has been an area that's had a lot of activity here today, whether it's large hail or just downpours at times, or just a little bit of both. I mean, there's storms that have just sat there over Sangamon County, and we'll get that camera switched there from Bloomington over to Springfield. We'll get that moved there. There we go. So we're looking south of Springfield there from middle of town, seeing some occasional lightning there in the distance. Winds picking up there just a little bit, kind of rocking the camera around some. But just keeping a close watch there on things. There's some nice lightning there in the background. Stronger storms out that direction. That is not where the current severe storms are, though. That would be more up to the northeast, kind of getting ready to exit the area. We'll look again up there to the northeast as this kind of just another wave of storms moving on through here. Kind of had an afternoon edition. Now we're starting to see that that evening into the early nighttime edition, and we're gonna have possibly a few more longer line here coming into the late night hours and into early tomorrow morning as well. So just kind of a strange timeline here with the way some of these storms have operated, just with the fact that well into the overnight hours and into way into the early morning hours there as well. So something to keep an eye on here right now. Up there in the northeast where the gusts really kicked up, we saw reports, actually saw some videos as well of some dust being kicked up there with the gusts associated with these storms. We had a dust storm warning that direction, and I believe that was until 10:45, so we can at least still possibly see the warnings up there. They still have them around. It looks like they've gotten rid of those since then. They've since gotten rid of that blowing dust warning there as the rain has saturated the ground some there and has kind of relieved us there of that risk. But yeah, it was a little scary seeing visibilities there track down to near zero. We're going to look at a future track here, just kind of time things out throughout the night here tonight. We'll get that pulled up here and just take a look at what we are anticipating here. Again, kind of that line of storms that we're feeling here right now, push it on through. Still seeing just a few clusters of storms there into the late night hours there, midnight to 1 o'clock time frame. Then as we push a little further on here, getting into the wee early hours there of Monday morning, that's when that next line, that big old complex of storms rolls on in there. And again, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, still not entirely out of the area there until we get later on into the morning. So this is just one model run of it, but this one's done a pretty good job here with handling stuff this weekend. So it's one that we're going to follow and watch and see how it evolves here. But again, we'll back things up here. That line of storms coming in a little later tonight. This is what we're dealing with here at the moment. A lot of stuff up there to the northeast and to the southwest. That's kind of what we're seeing here in our current picture. And again, just kind of a little bit of a mess there throughout the night until that line kicks on in there into the early morning hours there, just before sunrise, and even well into the morning there as well. So back to our current look at the way things are moving around here right now. Again, a lot of us just kind of seeing that rain there in the middle. But I want to show something here. I want to put the zoom in right here over Sangamon County, and I'm going to loop this thing for about, let's see how far back we need to go. We're going to do the whole 12-hour loop here, so we're going to have a little bit of some blank time here. But just look at how the storms have progressed here throughout the day over Sangamon County. I mean, that's a 12-hour loop there, and right when things get started right there at about, right here, coming soon, right there at about 4 o'clock, I mean, things just really not going anywhere. There's been rain almost steady from about 4 o'clock all the way to right now.
Remember to use regional radar for that?
So, as you can see there, the plenty of rain down there in Sangamon County. That has been a big story. We will show the radar indicated rainfall totals there here in just a moment. We'll get the radar image back up there. So tracking stuff here, gonna switch up radars here. So there we go, we get the regional loop on there.
Yeah, I think that's going to capture the full, because the other one was only going back 8 hours.
It was only, okay. So
regional will capture that.
Gotcha.
2:30 start.
So we've got move that right back there, click the wrong button. So click that again. Just kind of moving things around here just to illustrate my point there just a moment ago. We'll back things up here well beyond when these storms started here. So we'll back that up here. We'll kind of drag this back to when we saw those storms starting to form. So again, it was around 2 or 3 o'clock we started to see just a little bit of some cells pop up there. And again, these had the tornado warning on them there around between 3 and 4 o'clock. This is what kind of got the day started there. So again, that cell just blowing up there over southeastern Sangamon County around the kind of the Chatham area, the Pawnee area as well. And as that moved on, there's another storm that kind of split off behind it. And since then, it has just been a steady flow of one storm after the other there in that part of the region. And it's just been constant rain there, constant rain down that direction. We're going to pull up our about 12-hour rainfall totals, your radar indicated rainfall totals. We're just going to hone in right here. You see just that blue dot there, that bullseye down here in the southeast part of the county, right next to Pawnee there. We'll drop a pin right on that. Radar indicated totals, I mean, upwards of 10 inches there. Again, that's just the radar estimate there. That's not an official recording, but again, these radars do a pretty good job of picking up there on the amount of rain that drops here to these areas. And even just not there in the bullseye, I mean, just kind of clicking a few spots in and around Chatham. I mean, 5 to 6 inches is kind of what looks like to be the number that we're seeing there. And that's just been steady throughout the day. And that's prompted some of those flood warnings as well. So got a little bit of everything tonight. Had those strong storms, severe storms, had some kicking up some dust there in the northeast, and even have some flash flooding down here into the southwestern part of the area as well. So no shortage of action here tonight as we continue to follow along things here. Zoom back out. Look at how things are moving along here. Again, up into the northeast. Now eastern Ford County into southern Iroquois County as well, starting to clear I-57 there. The current storms that we are watching here at the moment. Again, strong winds are what we're really feeling right now. Not seeing any of that, that hail there anymore, but 60-mile-an-hour gusts continuing with those storms, as well as just general breezes throughout the area. Again, around, say about 30 to 40 miles an hour there, maybe getting some stronger gusts in and throughout the middle part here of the area as well. But again, this is just kind of another round here in what looks to be a multi-round night. Kind of had that afternoon round of storms, kind of in that second round right now, the evening and early night, and eventually we will see some of those morning storms as well. We'll pull up our impacts chart here real quick, just to remind everybody of what we're expecting in the way of impacts here tonight. Again, started here at 3 in the afternoon, and we're going to go all the way to 8 a.m. there on the timing with that. Tornadoes, not really much of a concern here. We'll, of course, watch for that, but not seeing any kind of activity in that regard here right now. Hail, wind, and heavy rain. Those are the three things that we're watching for. They're all three medium risks. We've seen plenty of large hail, up to around baseball size here today. Winds gusting 60, even up to 70 miles an hour at times. The storms entered the area. And, of course, flooding, a concern to keep an eye on for as well. As we have had a lot of slow-moving storms, we're talking 15 to 20-mile-an-hour moving storms there. It's kind of bring down that heavy rain back when they were just kind of individualized cells there, just small individual storms. They just wouldn't go anywhere. There was just storms that took an hour and a half just to move from Sangamon County to Christian County. It just took forever for those to get moving. And that has prompted the flood risk across parts of the area. We'll take a look at our current alerts, including those flood warnings out there as well. Just kind of a general overview of what alerts we're seeing here at the moment. So there is your severe thunderstorm watch. You can see the areas outlined there in pink. That's kind of shrunk a little bit here in the last little bit. You can kind of see things receding back a little bit there on that. But got the flood watch up there into the northeast as well. Actually, they just canceled that severe thunderstorm watch here, so that was a good timing on pulling up that graphic. But got that flood watch up there, Livingston, Ford, Iroquois counties. Again, rain in some dry areas there. You get enough rain to pile up there on that dry dirt. Too much rain when you're dry is, of course, not a good thing. You want some rain, but you don't want to get too much there. That dry soil, not very good at reeling in some of that moisture there if you get it coming in there too much. And Cass, Menard, corner of Morgan County there, Sangamon down to Christian County. We got that flash flood warning in effect there as well. Just all the heavy rain down there that direction. Had reports much earlier in the afternoon, just kind of between Chatham and Laomi there, had 4 or 5 inches of water over the roads there. So since then, we've just only added more rain there to that. So just keeping a watch out there as more rain continues in that general direction, as well as just looks like one severe warned storm here at the moment up there around Ford and Iroquois County still. Watching that one with 60-mile-an-hour gusts as the potential hazard there with that one. Rain throughout much of the region here, hearing a little bit of pitter-patter on the roof here at the station as well, as some of that rain has moved well into Champaign County right about now. And some general gusts in between these storms here, maybe 30 to 40 miles an hour, but nothing wild or intense here at the moment. We're just kind of looking down here to the southeast, still Christian County, southern Sangamon County, where it's been all day long. I mean, places like Auburn, Chatham, like we said, Laomi there. It's been a lot. There's been a lot of rain down there that direction, including Pawnee as well. That was right there next to the bullseye there on the radar indicated rainfall totals. So at least 5 to 6 inches across much of the area there in the southern part of the county, and again, just continuing to add to that there. We're going to take a look at that storm south of Springfield there. We're going to put back on our sky cam, get you a look at that. This camera really is kind of starting to wave around now, getting some nice lightning there in the background as well. So there we are watching Springfield camera looking to the south as that storm continues to move across an area that has had all too much rain here in the last about 12 hours or so. Actually, the last about 8 hours or so here. So continuing to monitor those storms, again, kind of on the very southern end of this line and on the very northern end of this line is what we are, kind of what we're seeing here as a general pattern. So we'll put things back here on our radar loop and just kind of watch things from above here. Got them in motion. Again, just kind of seeing pretty slow movement here with some of these. I mean, down here to the southwest, the ones that we've kind of been talking about as the flood concern there. Kind of got a little more pace to them than what they did have there earlier into the day. But again, too much rain in the same place there, not necessarily a good thing. And watching as these stronger storms still exit the area up here to the northeast. It might start to cross over there into our Indiana viewing area here before too long. Just kind of watching that there. Maybe Fowler starting to get clipped there by a little bit of the top end of that storm. Toss some lightning on there as you can see the storms moving on through. Maybe not quite as much going on there on the southern end of things, but you see plenty of lights up there on the north end of the storm. Some lightning tossed in here and there throughout the stratiform rain region, but really just concentrated there on the very southwest side of the area and the very northeast side of the area as far as what we're seeing for storm chances here. So we'll bring up a couple more graphics here, just kind of walk you through the rest of the night. Again, Storm Prediction Center still has us there in that slight risk as we are anticipating another line of storms to move on in here tonight. Strong winds anticipated there with that line of storms. We'll show you future track there again to illustrate kind of what we're seeing. We'll get that pulled up here. We'll just kind of take a look at the state view here, just kind of the wide shot of the region. There's those storms in the northeast and southwest pushing on through. Might be just some general rain here, maybe just a few storm clusters here and there as we move past midnight. There might be a little bit of a lull in the action here late into the night, but be ready there early in the morning. Some of us might be getting up there around that 4 or 5 a.m. hour. And others that like to sleep in a little past that, well, you might hear nature's alarm clock there as that line of storms will probably awaken some of us starting out there into the west. That line pushing on in there. Again, looking well into the morning, maybe even to the 8 or 9 o'clock hour before that finally starts to move on out of the area here. So it's been a busy last 24 hours here for sure. With storm chances there last night. That lasted well into the night and kind of another situation here as well. Again, not ruling out any kind of tornadic activity here later tonight, but it's really the gusts and the heavy rain that we have to keep in mind here with this stuff. So actively monitoring what's going on there. Again, a lot of us just seeing some of that rain here right now. Maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder tossed into there. But it is windy. It is windy in a few places. We'll just not even look at the gusts here. Let's just look at the general wind across the area. It's picked up as this next line has kind of brushed on in. Kind of see the mixing around there of wind direction as well. 20 up to 30 miles an hour there. Gusts maybe hitting up to 30 or 35. Hearing some thunder here outside of the station as well as we got just a little bit of rain, maybe just kind of a small storm moving in overhead. So we'll take a closer look here right around Champaign County. Drop those lightning bolts on there. Yep, just had one a little off to the west there, not that long ago. Got a few out there in Piatt County as well. Nothing intense, but a few rumbles here and there. But yeah, right now things not quite so bad for a majority of us. Those of us down in Montgomery, Christian County area, maybe getting some nice strong storms there. Kind of watching those. Maybe seeing the potential there for a little bit of hail tossed in there. You see some of those pink images there on reflectivity. kind of the Morrisonville. A lot of these towns I've been saying multiple times here throughout the day. Morrisonville, Roundtree, that kind of area there has seen a number of storms here. Nokomis as well. And up here towards the northwest, back there in Sangamon County, maybe a little south of the main area that's seen it, but still a place that's had plenty of rain, plenty of hail. The Auburn area there, right along I-55. This stretch of I-55 has had a ton of rain here in this part of the area, and has also probably seen 4 or 5 different sizes of hail there throughout the day, each part of a different storm, and maybe getting some smaller pieces of hail in there here tonight as we get close to the 11 o'clock hour. And a few storms out to the west as well, kind of getting ready to cross the I-72 region there. Kind of put these in motion, just kind of see the general direction of where those are heading. And you can just kind of see these storms not making too much progress there too fast. You kind of see them just kind of building on each other there. So out this direction, out and around Morgan County there, northeast corner of Morgan County, northwest Sangamon County, kind of just got a storm kind of trailing on itself there, just kind of spinning in the mud a little bit. So might be some higher rainfall here over the course of the next 30 or 45 minutes or so up that direction. And of course, that flood risk, we've been watching that here. Those storms that form out here around I-55 and west, they've just been some slow movers. They have not wanted to have much pace there to them at all. Watching our Warren storm up here to the northeast, still seeing there pretty strong movement there with that. And that one's moving at a bit faster of a pace here. Still 60-mile-an-hour gusts are what we're seeing there with that. So it could be just a little bit of some wind damage here tonight. But our big gusts still coming there, still coming along that big line here later tonight as well. So we will watch as this one starts to cross over into the Indiana portion of the viewing area here before too long. Kind of still making its way there through Iroquois County and soon the northern part there of Vermilion County as well. Keeping close tabs on things. And we'll continue to watch these as they progress through the nights. Mr. Adam Sherwinski will be in here the next couple of hours. He'll probably start his shift here a little early as he kind of switch back and forth. And he will take the reins here at some point. But until then, I'm not going anywhere. I've got my water bottle, got my snacks here. We're in good shape to get through the rest of the night. So again, anyone in the comments here, feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to also let me know of anything that you've seen. Get a lot of reports from both you guys and the National Weather Service sending out those reports as well. Seeing reports of a lot of tree damage just northwest of the area there. We saw that line of storms as they formed kind of northwest of I-55, just outside the region. There's been quite a bit of wind damage there. I don't know if you guys remember earlier in the stream, it had been several hours ago, but there was a line that this current line of storms, there was just a line of severe thunderstorm warning boxes all around it, well ahead of it there to account for just those gusts out in front of the storms, and made its impact felt there, especially outside the area. So most of that stayed just away from us, but got some power poles down as well, some tree damage to go along with that. And there for a little bit, like we said, we had blowing dust in Livingston, Ford, Iroquois counties as well. That's just a bit of a scary situation. Again, we haven't seen dust storm warnings ever out this direction, and we saw one there, unfortunately, with the incident that happened there on I-55 several days ago. And just kind of erring on the side of caution here. We had some reports of zero visibility up there in the northeast, just made things a little scary up there. So hopefully nothing became of that. Hopefully the warnings were issued out there in time before anything got too difficult up there. All right, take a look at the chat now. Valentine asking about tornado probability. Not seeing anything here with these storms at the moment. In fact, no more severe thunderstorm warning up there. You kind of just see that storm kind of weakening off here just a little bit. So yeah, not too worried about tornado chances here, especially at the moment. That next line of storms coming up later in the nights, I'm not going to say there's no chance, but I would say it's pretty low. Again, we'll watch that, but I just don't think there's as high of a chance. If anything, it'd be a little more to the west of the area. But even then, I just think that tornado probabilities are at about a minimal. That's the least of our concerns here. We're more concerned about strong winds and a flood threat here with some of the heaviest rain. Again, kind of looking up this direction. Got somebody asking about Hoopston. Kyle there in Hoopston. Yeah, you'll probably get a nice little light show to the north of you here. Looking like that might impact part of Hoopston there, maybe just the north side there. Depends on where you live out there in town. But yeah, definitely seeing a light show if you look out any windows there to your north. That heavier rain moving out that direction as that crosses over here into our Indiana viewing area now. Fowler probably going to see some decent rain here in just a little bit as that storm pushes on out that direction. The rest of us down there in those counties across the border are looking clear here so far. We'll just kind of watch as that cluster of storms kind of dives a little bit down there to the southeast. So we'll see how that plays out here. I'm going to pull back up the Springfield camera because we've got a lot of lightning popping up there on that. And see that storm down there in the south. It's kind of keeping itself together there. So let's just take a quick peek in to the Springfield camera, looking off to the south, closer to Montgomery County there. We'll pop that on. Just kind of watch for yourself as that camera jolts around here. Again, not saying much. Springfield camera there on a spring, no pun intended, so it'll move around quite a bit. And hopefully we get some nice lightning there in the background. Saw nice vivid bolts there not too long ago in the background. So we'll watch this here for a little bit. Storm chances kind of subsiding here for a little bit. The line that pushed in here was looking pretty darn impressive. Since then, it's kind of lowered there since then. So not as concerned as what we were here earlier. There's some nice lightning there. Some nice lightning to pop up there on the screen. It's getting pretty electric there with those storms, especially out southwest. And we'll switch back over here to our radar image. Got Chad asking, what do we think about Mattoon here tonight? So right now, I'm not seeing too much going on there over in Coles County. Just some rain, maybe some thunder, some lightning there at the moment. Maybe getting a little breezy as this system tries to pass on through. As far as later tonight, it doesn't really matter where you are here later tonight because it's at that stage where that storm complex is going to be so uniform that it's probably just going to be gusty conditions all along the line, not necessarily concentrated in any one particular area. So 60 plus mile-an-hour gusts possible there early in the morning hours. Mattoon, I would estimate there that'll probably move more of a 6 or 7 a.m. kind of thing when those strong winds push on through. We've got Owen asking about Paxton up that direction here. So again, up this direction, looks like things are finally starting to calm down there across Ford County. Paxton included there, maybe getting a little bit of some rain filtering on in, maybe hearing some thunder from the storm up along I-57 up there in Onarga. But right now, I think we're heading towards a general, just kind of a general rain pattern here throughout parts of the night. I'm going to switch radars up here. I'm going to see if we can get that Davenport one up there. Just kind of look at things up that direction and see what that next line, could bring here. Getting storms up that direction, starting to fire up there just a bit. A few warnings out that direction. So this is where our storms are going to come from here within the next, over the course of the night, let's say. Yeah, the way things look right now, strongest storms now up here, more so on the state line right now. Fowler probably feeling a little bit of that. Parish Grove as well. Kentland, just outside of the area there, Earl Park. And of course, I think the noisiest storms right now are these ones down here in the southwest. Montgomery County, Christian County. We've seen a lot of action here today. Had quite a bit of rain and hail. It's been a long day. It really has down this direction. Hoping that there's not been too much too much chaos there caused by the, I'm sure, the piling rain down here. For those of you that missed it earlier, we'll go ahead and put the rainfall totals in the last 12 hours up here on the board. Again, you see that swath there, just all the way from about Menard County all the way through to about Christian. Saw its fair share of rain, just rinse, repeat, just a cycle of storms there that moved down that direction. And in particular, south of Springfield, Chatham, Loami there, Beamington, Pawnee, you've seen a ton of rain. I mean, a bucket full of rain here. Again, we'll drop a tag in there, but anywhere you see the blue and the purple, I mean, 8, 10 inches, radar estimates there. So yeah, it is pretty, it's been a pretty nasty go of things here today. Even had reports of pretty large hail down here at one point. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was a storm that produced a baseball-sized hail as it tried to push through. I believe it was on its way into Christian County, exiting Sangamon County. But yeah, had some really big hail there for a little bit. But on top of that, if you've had any kind of damage there caused by those hailstones as well, I'm sure this rain didn't help any of that either. I mean, a swath of about maybe 5 up to 10 inches. That's just too much rain. I mean, even that over the span of a week, that's a ton of rain. That's way too much rain, especially in the span of 8 hours, and even more especially when conditions are already kind of dry enough down here this direction. So we needed rain, but I didn't want enough there to cause some of that flooding situation down that direction. I'm gonna bring up our active alerts, our watch boxes there, and check those out. So as you can see, our watches kind of starting to dissipate there. Not seeing anything here currently in the area outside of Iroquois and Benton there. Still got that watch there for the next hour or so. And what you're seeing out there to the northwest, that'll kind of be the next wave. There very well could be another watch here later on in the night, just depending on how well that next line of storms will push on through, depending on how much strength they have. And of course, the flood watch up there in the north and east as well. Some heavy rain continues up that direction. And we will look back at radar here, get that pulled back up. Got a question here about watching near Effingham and Fayette County, back near from where I came from, down there in Diedrich. Watching those storms out there to the northwest, they're kind of keeping their shape. I wouldn't say strengthening, I wouldn't say weakening either, but they're holding together pretty good here at the moment. The big thing to watch would just be some heavy rain at times with that. Maybe there's a little bit of hail in there as well. It's a bit of a slow mover. I wouldn't be too concerned about it here in the immediate future, unless you are in northwestern Fayette County there. If you're kind of on the Fayette-Effingham County line there, you'll probably get a little bit of a storm here at some points, but it's looking like it's just going to be a stronger storm. Maybe not necessarily anything too crazy or impactful there, with maybe just some gusty winds at times, but stuff saying sub-severe is what it looks like here for the most part. Again, might see some downpours there over a short span of time, but right now, nothing too concerning down that direction. I'm just kind of watching those storms, kind of keeping their shape. These are the ones that are kind of have had the longest lifespan to them here. I'm just kind of take a look at things. Saw the Weather Service up in Chicago kind of tossing around the idea of potentially issuing a wind advisory as the next line will move on through. We'll just kind of look at the future track wind gusts here, just kind of see how things will evolve throughout the night. So again, as the next line of storms pushing in here later tonight, kind of seeing some of those reds, some of those purples. Purple, anywhere 40 plus miles an hour there. Of course, anywhere within those storms, you could see locally higher gusts. But just general breeziness here right now. Some of those non-storm gusts there, maybe 20 up to 30 miles an hour, maybe just 40 in a couple of places there. So it'll be a bit of a breezy night here, but the big thing is just any kind of storm-related gusts there. That's what we'll be watching for as that next line moves on. And Bruce says no power in Chatsworth there right now. So Chatsworth without electricity here as storms continue on into make their presence felt in the very southwestern corner of the area here, as well as up there into the northeast. Just some steady rain there to follow behind with some of these storms. Again, there's Chatsworth there. And yep, definitely looked like you got a good chunk of that storm here. And it looks like I've got myself a visitor here in the studio, Mr. Adam Sherwinski, walking on in, ready to get his day started off nice and early there. But yeah, right now, not seeing a whole ton of action. Our only severe warned storms out there in the northeast. Those warnings have since been removed as they kind of weaken across the state line there. Lots of just stratiform rain in between here and all the way down I-72 there into Christian County, Montgomery County there, Shelby County as well. Keeping an eye on things. Again, some of the stronger storms where we've seen the bulk of the heavy rain. Seen quite a bit of hail. Again, mentioned a place like Chatham has probably seen 5 different storms produce 5 different sizes of hail there in the span of about 12 hours. So that's where things have been a little more intense here within the last 12 hours here today. We're just kind of watching this next line of storms here. Maybe a bit breezy in a few places, but not really anything too concerning going on out here at the moment. And just kind of honing in. Oh man, the sky just got lit up there in Springfield. The camera there in the background. Starting to become a problem there in northwestern Fayette County. Some of those storms spin on in. Nokomis probably get some heavy rain, maybe a little bit of hail there at the moment. Seen some of these towns pop up on the board there in the path of that. But again, the threat here with these, kind of just the heavy rainfall. You can just see this is an hour-long loop there, so these aren't moving all that fast, and at times they've kind of trained on each other and just kind of delivered rain on top of the same spots over and over and over again there. So looking like this round number 2 here, this evening and early nighttime round, is kind of reached its peak already. Its biggest impact already behind us. Just seeing some steady rain here, and we'll expect another round here later tonight. We'll show you that future track here again. I want to iterate this model has done a pretty solid job here so far this weekend, kind of doing not too bad of a job there of depicting stuff. You see throughout the night, maybe a few more storms kind of jumping together there, but a little bit of a lull expected here into the deep overnight hours. But when we start to get near sunrise again, when some of us are waking up, if not, nature might wake you up there on its own, 5, 6 o'clock, all the way up to about 8 or 9 there as well. So it could be something to follow through throughout much of the morning, as we'll expect another round here. So round 2 ongoing here, but effectively has probably delivered its biggest impacts here already. Just to kind of wrap things up here from this round 2, we had the very beginning. We had that line of storms kind of move on in through the northeast. We had McLean, Livingston, Ford, Iroquois counties there, all in a severe thunderstorm warning well ahead of the line of storms there. Just again, those gusts out ahead of those storms, kicking up some dust there on the ground. Again, with the just kind of the dry soil, and of course a little bit of farming going on up that direction there. Just enough things lining up there for a little bit of that gust action and those storms to just really send things up in the air as far as that dust goes, and made visibility near zero there at times. So kind of a dangerous situation there. Prompted the Weather Service to issue 2 more dust storm warnings, a thing that has hardly ever been seen here this far out east, and now we've seen 3 here in the course of the last week or so. But with that rain filtering on in there, shouldn't have any problems there with the dust anymore. Should get some of that more moist soil. Should calm things down here just a bit. But kind of looking like down here to the southwest again, Montgomery County, just the far west, Shelby County there as well. Starting to get some action there. Starting to hear some noise. Strong gusts coming through Cissna Park right now, says Matt's. We'll look up that direction there. And yeah, definitely feeling some of the wind up here as these storms push their way on through. Again, just really 2 spots watching here. Far northeast, far southwest, everywhere in between. Just some nice rain here. Some nice gentle rain to put you to sleep here tonight. We'll look back down here again to the south. I'm gonna move around my Effingham cam here just a little bit, see if we can get some of the lightning there now that we've crossed into obviously well into the nighttime hours here. See if we can see some nice lightning there if we look out to the west. So we'll get things turned around there and keep an eye on the radar loop as we're doing that. We're seeing a little bit there in the distance. We'll go ahead and put it up and I'll let you see for yourself as we get that tossed in here. If I can find my sky cam again, and there we go. So yeah, kind of faint in the distance there. You'll see a few just kind of flashes of lightning. Again, the storms aren't even quite all the way in Fayette County there at the moment, so obviously just going to kind of see some faint signatures of those storms here. So we see some nice flashes of lightning here and there. We'll turn back on Springfield as well as those storms. Those same storms, kind of viewing it from the southeast here right now, the Effingham cam. If we look at the Springfield cam, we'll be viewing those same storms there more from the north. It's still pretty breezy there in Springfield. Camera shaking around there. Still seeing the occasional sky illuminating bolts of lightning there here south of town. There's a little bit there in the background. Nice little cloud to ground action there. So we'll pull up our active watches and warnings here again. Just going to touch up on a few things, see where things currently stand. Got a few flash flood warnings out there. As rain really has piled up there in the I-55, I-72 exchange, just kind of that little junction out there. That's where a lot of the rain's been, just spanning from Christian County up there to just northwest of Cass County. That's where you've had a lot of your rain just kind of pool in on itself there. And again, flood watch up there into the northeast. Some of that heavier rainfall, some of that drier soil there, just kind of making a little bit of a situation there to keep an eye on. I know severe thunderstorm watches well west of here, well north and west of here, as the next line of storms is still well outside the area, but that'll be a thing to watch here as we move into the Monday morning hours here officially within the next 45 minutes or so. We still do technically have a severe thunderstorm watch up there. Those same counties you see outlined there in that flood watch, they still have a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight, but as we've seen here on our radar loop here the last couple times, it's looking like those storms are pretty much have done their thing and are effectively on their way out here, either on their way out or have weakened enough to where they won't be causing too many issues here for too much longer. As you can see, now into the Fowler area, pretty good there. Maybe some nice heavy rain, some lightning tossed into there as well. Some nice steady rain here across the rest of the area. Fayette now is joining the ranks there with the storms. Ramsey probably just got through one little round there, maybe another one on the back side of it there with a little bit of hail on the back end there where you see that pink. This places out ahead of this along I-70 between Vandalia and Effingham there. Places like Altamont, Brownstown, and St. Elmo out this direction as well. Sefton as well. So just watching, rain's probably going to pick up here in the next 15, 30 minutes there, depending on how far into the county you are. Maybe get a little bit breezy, maybe see a few small bits of hail. But still staying sub-severe down this direction, although maybe not by too much, just because we're seeing some decent hail signatures with some of these storms. And again, kind of another cluster behind it there, so plenty of action around I-55 here tonight, and starting to move its way into the I-70 region. Let's take a wide shot here of the area and take a look at some of your comments. Talking about some wind really picking up in Wellington there. Matt said the strong gusts through Cissna Park there not too long ago. And we're looking to see both the Chicago and Lincoln National Weather Service chats here, just kind of filling us in with any kind of reports of some damage here in the area or any kind of significant weather that we've seen. I've heard of a lot of downed trees northwest of us, kind of out there into the Peoria area. Lots of strong winds as that line of storms really looked pretty healthy there before it entered the area. Kind of weakened as it got on in here, but yeah, before then 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. That was making some noise out there that direction, and all along that line had severe warnings there at one point. A few of those held on north of I-74 here as they moved into our portion of the state, but since then, again, things have really kind of started to calm down here. Not too concerned about any particular area here in the central part of the region. Southwest, though, you're still dealing with those stronger storms. Maybe a little bit difficult there to get to sleep with some of that thunder roaring in the background. And just kind of want to, again, sleep with one eye open here at the moment. Just kind of watch these storms, making sure that we're not going to see anything too crazy here with them. I see some strong winds at times, a little bit of hail. But aside from that, still staying below severe status here. As we get closer and closer to the midnight hour, about 20 minutes past 11 here. So just taking a bit of a wide shot here, looking to the northwest. Again, another complex of storms, getting ready to fire up out that direction, already well underway. So to see a few warnings out there as well. It's important to note just because of the next round coming in here tonight with that line looking to really kind of bulk up here into the overnight hours. But until then, things might be relatively quiet here. Maybe just hearing the occasional classic, just ordinary storm, especially down there between I-55, I-70. And now finally starting to get a break from some of the rain south of Springfield here. Maybe a little bit more still out there to the west, but we really need to slow things down there in southern Sangamon County just with how much rain has been dumped there throughout the course of the day. Tim says no power in Piper City here at the moment. Yeah, some of those strong gusts probably knocking down a couple power lines up that direction. Again, not surprised with trees being knocked over just before they crossed over I-55 there. It's no surprise to hear that probably having some power line issues up to the north. We'll actually see if we can pull up, see what kind of outage reports we are getting here across the state. And here we go. We'll take a look here at some of our outages. Just kind of reading off the screen here. Livingston County, about close to 2,500 there, customers without power. About 400 some there in Ford County. Really just looking concentrated up there to the north. Maybe a handful there in Piatt still without electricity. A few here and there across those other counties. But Livingston and Ford are the two there that are without power for the most part. Again, a few thousand up that way. So some of you might be watching there in the dark with your tablets or devices up there that direction. Tim also says got tree limbs down as well. Is that, Tim, is that by your house or is that somewhere there in the neighborhood of where you're at there? Just curious as to the extent of that here. But up there in Piper City, that's where we're getting some of those reports, indications that electricity out in portions of Ford Livingston County. As things got pretty breezy up there. We touched gusts near 70 miles an hour there with some of those storms as they moved on in. And made a little bit of noise up there and have since weakened by quite a bit. Tim says all over town. He reports some buildings west of town blown over as well. So yeah, definitely some strong gusts there up that direction. We're gonna just take a look at velocity real quick, just see if we can see any sorts of strong winds concentrated in a particular area here. So we'll pull that up here. Get our velocity going. Just gotta take a look. Yeah, some general strong winds, especially looking down there to the south, in the Sangamon County area there, seeing some brighter colors indicating some stronger breezes there as well. And yeah, kind of up here into the McLean County area as well. Seeing some of their stronger winds through there. But effectively, not seeing crazy gusts here. Maybe the occasional burst there around 40 miles an hour, but without those stronger storms, you're not going to see gusts too powerful here, especially out in this stratiform rain area. But down here, again, Montgomery County, Fayette County, things might be picking up there just a little bit with some heavy rain ready to fall on in there, and some stronger winds possible in some of those storms as well. Not seeing quite as much pink there in those storms anymore, so hail probably very minimal in size if it's still present there in those. We'll look back at Effingham here, see if anything interesting. If we're getting a bit of lightning in the distance there, we'll pop that up. things looking pretty still there in Effingham at the moment as the storms haven't quite arrived there yet, but just watching out to the west. And a nice little illumination of the horizon there, right on cue, right when we move the camera there. So that's where we're watching our active storms here. The rest of us, just some occasional thunder and lightning, maybe some moderate rain there in a few places. Just gonna take a look here at the storm reports that we have seen in and across the area. We'll sort these here by type and just kind of give you an overview of what's been through the area here. So we'll take a look at some of our storm damage here. Just kind of see anywhere in the area that's had a little bit of damage reported. Again, a lot of these northwest of the area here. Had a thunderstorm gust of 66 miles an hour in the Coles County Airport. Things picked up pretty good there. McLean County, 2 miles southeast of Hudson, a 61 mile an hour gust. So some of those 60 pluses on the board there in the north part of the area. Just kind of click on a little bit of some damage that was reported here. That was into last night's set of storms here. So got a couple of these from yesterday in there as well. Rainfall, several inches here in a few places as those reports pile on in. General overview here of what's going on, and something to watch here in Fayette County as that storm has kind of extended a little bit there. Kind of got a nice little appendage out front there, getting ready to cross the county line. And again, looking at Loudon there, St. Elmo, Altamont, potentially feeling this storm here just a little bit. We'll put that one in motion, kind of see what direction that's heading there. And it's really here in, I'm going to actually put that just the last 30 minutes. And you can see, yeah, that little appendage just recently jumping into the equation there. So a little bit of some noise being made in southwestern Effingham County. Starting to see that pink there, maybe some hail starting to pop up there into the picture as well. So watching that corner of the area here, really our only real storms at the moment. Also some pretty good looking storms over here in Macoupin and Montgomery County as well. Kind of got a couple of storms running into each other there, but just general heavy rain. Again, not seeing any kind of big time hail, maybe pea size in there. Aside from that, maybe just some lightning here throughout the night. But we'll watch this one here as it kind of dives into Fayette County. Again, the one thing grabbing our attention here at the moment, some of those storms in the very southern part of the area here. Mackenzie says, sounded like small hail in St. Elmo woke her up there. Yep, probably having that happen to a few folks in bed down that direction. Some thunder, definitely rumbling around, getting people woken up there. And yeah, seeing some maroon there and some pink, definitely some signatures of a little bit of hail in there. I'll take a look at here some of the other comments. Amy says definitely southwest here of Altamont. Yep, those storms knocking on the door there, right along the county line there, just between Altamont and St. Elmo. Going to start to see some action there up along I-70 there shortly. Brenda asking, we're going to get any high winds tonight, or is it going to get worse here tonight? So some of those stronger gusts with those earlier storms, it's going to kind of be the peak of the situation for now. But later tonight, we'll see another round of storms here. And we'll pop back up Future Track here again just to see what's in store here tonight. And here's kind of our current look here, the way storms are moving on through. Maybe a little bit of redevelopment there in the middle of the night. But here's that line. Here's the timing of things here. Maybe getting here around the 4 a.m. time frame, maybe when things are jumping on in there. Bill asking how things are looking for the morning. So along I-55 up there, could be pretty noisy there starting around 4 or 5 a.m. And along this lines, we're going to see another series of strong gusts as well. Potentially looking in the ballpark of 60, maybe up to 70 miles an hour here as well. Just a pretty big system looking to move on through here. And that'll take several hours to completely push through the area. See here 7, 8 a.m., By the time we get to 9 a.m. is when that finally starts to move on out there. But might be following that storm there through the morning shows there on our Monday morning to get our day started. So looking like that next risk is going to thankfully line up there with a time where people are going to start to be awake. Maybe not looking quite as much of an overnight when you're sleeping kind of situation there anymore. So that's good to hear. Around that 5 a.m. time frame, though, if you're out there along I-55, maybe set your alarm clock a little early just to keep your eyes peeled in case those storms arrive there just a bit ahead of schedule. Strong winds there in the forecast. Also, that chance for some potential flooding as well. You just see how deep this storm complex is there. You see that orange and yellow really run pretty deep there as that line moves on through. And it will kind of dissipate as it moves on through, but plenty of rain behind it there early. So we'll watch that. Again, that's several hours away. That's kind of the final round of tonight's series of storms. Kind of the next thing we're watching for larger impacts and more widespread impacts. Definitely looking like a more widespread event there. But obviously right now having our own localized amount of impacts here with some of these storms down here in Fayette County. Take a look here at some more comments. Again, several reports there of some power outages, mainly up there in the north, Ford, Livingston County. Several thousand there without power as a burst of wind really kind of made some noise there for a little bit. And those storms actually quite quickly started to taper off there. Maybe the winds weren't quite so weak, but as loud as they were when they came in, they slowed down a little bit by the time they crossed I-57 there. Again, not before making for a weird situation there where a couple of dust storm warnings were issued again there in the northeast, so an oddity to see for sure, but something we've seen several times here now the last week or so, and thankfully now with rain being dispersed across much of the area there, we'll take care of some of that dry topsoil there, and we'll kind of put away those dry conditions for now. And again, if you didn't get a whole lot of rain today, you'll probably get a pretty good chance here later tonight as that final line moves on through. But I do think a lot of us now that this kind of stratiform rain here in the middle is moving on through, those that dodge the rain, we're kind of in this general area, and I think now you're starting to get your money's worth there with some of that rain. It's probably the best you can get there as far as getting the rain you want without getting too much of it there. Some nice light to moderate rain there in that area, enough to moisten the soil and not cause too many issues there. So continuing to watch this storm here kind of grow on that southeastern side of things. Now soon to move into Effingham County. In fact, already knocking on the door there. Remember someone here in the comments in Altamont definitely hearing some of the activity. St. Elmo also hearing some hail hitting off the roof there. So we'll watch this one as it gets ready to move on into the Effingham area there. A lot of southern Effingham County, kind of low population areas there. But obviously, if you are in those towns, it doesn't matter how small you are there, you're going to feel those impacts for sure, and you're going to want to know about them. But anywhere south of I-70 here, your town sizes do kind of shrink. So we're watching this as it moves through, and that's really about the only activity going on. There's still a little bit of action up here northeast across the Indiana part of the area now. Pine Village, Oak Grove. Maybe seeing some nice moderate rain here. Drop some lightning on there. Yep, a little bit of thunderstorm activity, but nothing too major there at the moment. See some of those darker bolts. Those are older ones there, so not seeing lightning too frequently there. Just about the region, the time scale that we expect. So not too much extra to talk about here with some of these storm chances. Again, kind of in that in-between period here at the moment. Just kind of watching things over and making sure that stuff down in the southwest doesn't make any noise. Otherwise, that's really about the only stuff we're watching here. Don't want to carry on with the stream too much if we're just watching a bit of rain here, but definitely want to make sure these storms don't get out of control down here this direction. So we'll watch these here for a little bit. Make sure those stay in check. Of course, anyone down there, Fayette County, Effingham County, let us know what you're hearing, what you're seeing there. Obviously from a safe distance with some of these storms. Don't get too close to your windows there with the lightning. And of course, a little bit of hail in there as well. Just stay indoors, play it safe here. Fayette County into Effingham County is where things are starting to stir up a little bit. And out west here, don't want to disregard these storms kind of firing up in Macoupin County as well, and maybe a few more being introduced to the area here soon with some of those storms just west of the area there. We'll put these in motion as well, just to kind of show their development here within the last hour. And yeah, even though we're well into the night, we talked about storms classically firing up there in the heat of the day. We still got enough out there for some of these storms even to be pieced together well past sunset here tonight. So definitely not ruling out the chance for some of those still to pop into the picture as we're seeing out there to the west. But many of these staying below severe status tonight. As of right now anyway, we of course have another line expected to roll on in here at some point later on in the night. But that'll be much later here, well past the midnight hour. So we'll look at things over there in Effingham. We'll pull up the Effingham camera now, probably in line there with some good lightning. So we'll take a look at the top of the St. Anthony Hospital there, off to the west. Kind of watch things here from the rooftop. As storms just on the county line between there and the Effingham and Fayette County line. Got Amy here in the chat, giving us a nice little report again. Southwest of Altamont, southeast of St. Elmo. It's just windy with extremely heavy rain. Yeah, it's definitely seen some downpours possible there with that storm. And kind of noisy, nothing to worry about. Woke half of the kids up though. Yep, it'll do that. It'll get the kids woken up. It'll get the dogs barking and the cats running for cover there as well. But as long as that's the extent of what it's doing there, I think we'll take it here at this point in the night. Starting to move around a little bit there on the Effingham camera. A lot of our cameras are pretty sturdily attached there to their antennas, but as you can see, the Effingham one actually kind of being tossed around here just a little bit. Seeing some lightning into the distance as well. Just kind of got your classic ordinary thunderstorms here. Maybe a bit of some strong gusts tied to them, but staying below that severe status here. And we're just going to kind of scroll around here and look and see if any kind of reports are coming in here. Anything new to the Weather Service to be relayed. Again, a lot of tree damage northwest of the area, northwest of I-55. For the most part, I think we've just kind of been dealing with maybe some branches down and maybe some power outages. But at the moment, we've seen worse here earlier today. There's some nice lightning there in the Effingham cam. Throw back up our radar imagery there. So we're just kind of monitoring what's going on down here to the southwest. Again, we'll kind of watch these storms, see what they do. Keep a close eye on them. Everything those staying below severe status. We definitely want to keep those of you in the path of these informed of what's going on here. But nothing too high in there as far as impacts go at the moment. Heather says lots of loud rumbles in Watson, currently with some wind gusts. Deborah asking anything coming towards Paris, Illinois. Out that direction, you're just going to get some rain here in a little bit. Winds might pick up a little bit. This line kind of got some general breezes, a little bit stronger here, but you're looking maybe no more than 40-mile-an-hour gusts, so nothing too crazy there. I'll put the lightning there on radar again. Very few and far between there as far as lightning bolts, so maybe not even too much thunder here passing through Paris. So you've got yourself some nice light rain to some nice relaxing rain to listen to here into the overnight hours. But yeah, right now anywhere not in the southwest corner or the northeast corner of the area, you're looking in good shape. You're just looking at some steady rain here across much of the region. But as we mentioned before, this isn't the end of things. There's going to be that next line here moving into the overnight hours. But like I said, I feel a little more comfortable with that one now that it looks like it's kind of pushing more towards the sunrise hours. So not looking into that awkward time frame between like 2 and 4 a.m., kind of like what we saw there last night. We had to stay on pretty late there last night just to make sure some of those storms moved on through. We've had them, have warnings for a little while, and then they dropped those warnings and they grabbed them right back there again. So they were kind of on again, off again last night. Just had a weird time of night there. But different story here. Just some rain into the area for now. Maybe even into midnight there. And well beyond that, of course. But finally starting to dry up there in Sangamon County, thank goodness. Again, lots of rain out that direction. Hopefully some of those storms dodge us to the south there. Things getting a little, things picking up a little bit here in Fayette County. As you can see, a couple places, Vandalia, maybe getting some nice rumbles of thunder in there, some heavy rain in parts. Looks like this will just kind of stay a little bit off there to the north. You might pick up some heavy rain there here in just a moment, though. See just a slight shade of pink north of Sharon there, maybe a little bit of hail dropping on in there. Bless you. Got Adam back here looking through some things as well. But right there on the county line, someone down there in near the Altamont-St. Elmo area. So you're probably, we'll keep radar imagery tied to the Lincoln radar here. I noticed down this direction it kind of wants to take the one southeast of here as well, so we'll just keep it on one radar look there, so that way we're not changing things up too much. Derek over in Piper City says, no power, tree damage, limbs down, and some street blockage as well. So yeah, those stronger winds, it really sounds like it was concentrated up there just across those top 3 counties, Livingston, Ford, and Iroquois counties, up there in the Piper City area. That's where those gusts were really being felt there right as we moved into the 9 and 10 o'clock shows here. That took place a couple hours ago. Prompted a dust storm warning there for a little bit. Again, just kind of made for a little bit of an odd scenario there. As we had flash flood warnings separated by just a few miles of dust storm warning. So it was weird. It was definitely strange, but from what I can tell, we saw Jacob had a map up earlier kind of showing traffic flow up that direction, trying to see if there was any kind of troubles on the roads there with the dust storms. To my knowledge, I don't know of any kind of troubles there on the roads as that dust kicked on through. But we'll see here if we can get any kind of reports from that. But that's behind us now. The rain settling that dust, moistening that soil. No longer should be a problem here for a lot of the area. So our dry conditions are going to be helped out here quite a bit with this round of showers and storms. Keeping things locked in here. Vandalia looking like you're about to get hit there with some heavy rain and probably some pickup there in the lightning before too long, right overhead. Probably hearing some really big booms of thunder there rolling on in. In the Brownstown, St. Elmo area here. Effingham County, kind of watching from the east there. Looking like this one's going to, for the most part, kind of stay off to the west there just a little bit. It's got some of that kind of that eastward track to it. It looks like it kind of wants to head that way just a little bit. Looks like Effingham itself, though, is going to miss quite a bit of this. Some of these townships in southeastern Fayette, southwestern Effingham County, definitely getting ready for some heavy rain there. Some of those houses out in the country gonna have some of that wind blowing in there across the fields. We'll get our Effingham camera back up there as it's got a nice look at the storms as they roar through Fayette County, just across the county line there. We're looking off to the west from St. Anthony Hospital there, right around the downtown area there in Effingham, not too far from the from where 57 and 70 meet there at the crossroads. And again, nothing too wild there in Effingham at the moment. Much of it staying there south and west. You can see the winds picking up though, kind of tilting the camera around just a little bit. Seeing the occasional lightning here in the background. Maybe have to move the camera around just a little bit there to look a little more south if we want to pick up on that as much as we can here. So let's do that here. Let's move that around. Just kind of take a little bit of a synopsis here of the area. There's some nice lighting on there too. Kind of looking out there towards the gas stations there where the interstates are as well. Looking southwest now, you can see the signature cross there in the background. Again, kind of around where the interstates meet there. So we'll keep the camera here, a little bit to the southwest. That's where the action is. That's where it's going to continue to be here, at least until later on into the night and into the very early morning hours. So we'll track that on radar here again. Storms in Fayette County, getting ready to cross I-70 there. Definitely looking like the most well put together storm here out of anything here in the area. Got some stuff up there to the northwest. Bringing some rumbles of thunder there. Not a bad looking storm there southwest of Carlinville though. Maybe bringing a little bit of hail there to. Again, we'll stay on the Lincoln radar there. Maybe bringing a little bit of hail to that part of the area. I guess it wouldn't hurt to just kind of look at things from the St. Louis radar here this direction and kind of get stuff closer to the ground. So we'll get that one looped on here. And yeah, not too bad. They're looking to the south. Probably some loud thunder here at times. Victor asking how much rain has fallen. Is there a map that shows that? Yeah, we got a map that shows the radar estimated totals here across the area. If you want to know exactly what the rainfall is where you are at, just let me know there where you are. We'll plot the map here across the whole area though and just kind of throw some markers in some of the higher rainfall places there, but we'll drop the 12-hour map down there, some of these colors. So much of it there concentrated around Sangamon County and northwestern Christian County as well. But we've had a fair share of rain up there, especially in the northeast. Much of it kind of staying just north of the area there. That line that was approaching, it was really stalled out up here to the north. It was going nowhere. It had a little bit of west-east movement, but zero north-south movement. So that's why you see some of those orange and red colors there. So again, we'll drop a few pins here just to kind of cover a majority of the area. Wherever you may be, you can kind of see how the rain stacked up. Again, southeast Sangamon County, that's where things were at their peak, about 7.5 there in just a couple areas. You know, indicated totals maybe near 10 inches there in some of the dark blue. We'll drop one down there in Fayette County as well. In the last 12 hours, picking up about close to 3 inches there. Some of us more in the center of the area with that stratiform rain, just kind of picking up a few tenths here at the moment. Up there in Iroquois County and Livingston County, upwards of an inch up that direction as well. And more to come here tonight. Definitely seeing some more rain in the forecast with that next line of storms that'll push on through here later on tonight, well into the morning hours there. So there's kind of a general overview of your rainfall totals. The biggest swath there around I-72 and I-55 where they cross there, just kind of a nice little bullseye there, maybe of near 10 inches in some places. But that is a look at your rainfall totals there. We'll jump back onto our radar imagery here. Look at the Vandalia and Effingham storms here from the Lincoln radar's perspective. In Brownstown, probably getting quite a bit of some heavy rain there, probably coming down in sheets right over the houses there. and probably pick it up in wind as well. Seeing a little bit of pink, so maybe some hail sizes there, staying under quarter size. But here's where the main activity is. Again, that glob there over a lot of Fayette County. So here is where we are watching things continue on. Looking like it'll miss quite a bit of the populated areas there of Effingham County. Like we mentioned, some of these townships there, Mason, the Watson area, some of these smaller places, Edgewood there as well. You'll probably get yourself a nice little storm here before too long with some good rumbles of thunder and some heavy rain down there in the very southern part of the area. I'm going to flip radars here to catch the St. Louis radar there to see what things are looking like there in Macoupin County. Get that popped up here. There we go, be our St. Louis. So yeah, not looking too bad here, closer to the ground with this St. Louis radar. But again, nothing too wild, just a little bit of red tossed in there. So some moderate storms, nothing high in there from what it looks like. Got a question from Victor there. What's the cause for the system to bobble up and down while moving eastward there? It's just kind of some of these storms kind of got a little bit of redevelopment there behind them as they kind of push on through. They've got their own little outflows there that could generate a few more storms as well. So even though they got a general direction, you kind of see storms form off of either the north or the south of them. Kind of looks like it's moving a different direction, but that's just kind of the storms kind of recycling, either refueling there or dying off. So that's kind of why you see the odd movement there at times with some of these. The general pattern has just been really north to south here. As you kind of see, those storms really took a turn. A lot of them were slowly moving east here today, but really diving straight south there is what we're seeing there with current radar loop. Throw things back on Lincoln here, and again, just kind of watching this one as it passes through Fayette and Effingham. Maybe watching that stuff out west here just a little bit, but there's no severe storms here in the area right now, so we'll keep watching things. Not looking like anything more than maybe just an isolated stronger storm's going to pop up here in the next few hours. So kind of starting to wind down on this second round of storms here. Maybe probably get things. Might take a little break here from the stream at some point once those storms move on out here, just to kind of recollect, kind of look at the forecast here for the next several hours here. So we've been pretty busy covering storms as they happen, and also watching what will happen there later on in the day. But been a lot of nowcasting here with watching these storms during the day. Ron just now joining us. How's Champaign-Urbana looking? Just some rain right now, some light to moderate rain up here that direction. Really our northeastern storms, those are kind of crossed out of the area here. Main action is down there in Fayette and Effingham counties. As we can see, a little bit of pink in there, some hail. At the very center of that, Otago, St. James, down there in Lone Grove as well. Definitely feeling this storm roar on through. Probably waking up a few of us, and maybe even stirring the pets around a little, as expected here with some of these storms. Crossing over there, crossing bedtime for some of us. Sally asking about Danville. Same story there as Champaign, just some light to moderate rain there at the moment. You might be hearing some thunder off to your northeast, but that's staying outside of your area. So we're not too concerned about anything over there. So we'll pop back in down there in Fayette and Effingham. Throw our lightning on there. Again, not too crazy active there. I got the Effingham camera up there in the background here behind me, just kind of watching it while we got the radar loop on here. Not super frequent, but when it strikes, it's pretty vibrant, pretty well lights up the sky there. So some loud claps of thunder there for sure. But not this light show, not looking like a party up there in the sky like some of the storms did there last night. There was just times where it just kind of almost looked like kind of strobe lights there, just constant lighting up. Not quite so bad here tonight. So we'll take the lightning off there, kind of clear up our picture here, see where these storms are heading. We'll put the short loop on there, just about a 45-minute loop. And there's your general direction, kind of moving a little bit southeast there. Missing most of the bigger towns in Effingham County. Altamont looked like you may have got some of that part of the storm on the eastern side, but most of it staying in Fayette County there. Brownstown sure taking a hit here right now. Some of that heavy rain, so probably going to be pounding on the roof there for a while, and some of our smaller towns down there in southeastern Fayette are going to feel it here soon. Vandalia, also kind of on the edge there of our radar zone again, so let's keep it back here on the Lincoln radar here. It's actually, let's pull up that St. Louis one here too, as we'll see from a little bit closer there. St. Louis radar, obviously a little bit closer there than the Lincoln one is here at the moment. So here's what things are looking like with the radar image out here. Maybe more equidistant there from Lincoln, but seeing kind of things from a different radar loop is always helpful there. So I'm wondering if my radar was a little behind there, because things really just kind of moved around here all of a sudden. I'm gonna put the Lincoln one back on here. I don't know, that was weird. The radar image just kind of shifted around there just a little bit, but we're seeing the storms from two different perspectives here. The further away from the radar you get, the higher up you're looking here. So some of these darker maroons and purples, maybe not what's happening there at the ground, being that far away from the radar. Again, kind of equidistant there from the St. Louis one, but we'll get better images of what's happening at the ground here in the Macoupin, Montgomery County areas with this St. Louis one. And the storm's starting to dive southeast into Clay County there, kind of exiting the region, exiting our coverage area there. Bruce says no power in Chatsworth and a power pole down there as well. Got Bill saying the weather app shows a lot more yellow and red areas than what we're showing here on radar. That is based on the radar images that we're looking at here. I'm sure the app there has things in the composite view there. So looking at the highest values of reflectivity anywhere there in the atmosphere. So yeah, things kind of look a little more sparse here in nature on our base view. But toss this on here. This probably matches a little more what your radar is seeing right now. Again, anywhere in these storms, as far up or as far down as it goes there, that is the reflectivity values that you're seeing. But it's really the base stuff that we look at to get stuff closer to the ground there. Obviously, pay attention to the stuff a little higher up there in the storms as well, but as far as here at the ground, that's kind of what you're seeing here as far as your rainfall rates anyway. So that would be the discrepancy there, because if you flip back and forth between those, there's some spots here that don't have rain on the base image that probably do there on the composite, so that would be the discrepancy there. Bruce saying here a branch hitting his truck there over in Chatsworth as well, so was that just recent here, Bruce, or was that earlier when those storms were moving on through? We'll see what Bruce has to say there, but it said 60-mile-an-hour winds there. I'm assuming that was when those storms were moving through earlier, but yeah, definitely a bad deal there having the branch land on the vehicle there. That's just a bit of some bad luck here. Certainly those storms capable of causing a little bit of damage there, knocking down some trees northwest of the area and knocking down some power lines here as they moved on over into our area. Saying yes with those storms there earlier. So you have some damage left behind from those. Thankfully, not seeing anything like that here anymore. Just the occasional gust and some steady rain. But still watching as these storms. Yep, Bruce said coming in there at 9 p.m. That's really when that line started to kick on through. I remember that right before the 9 o'clock show, we were getting things ready to go there, and that is when things really fired up over that direction. So it sounds like even though we've got some of our stronger storms down here in the southwest, it sounds like a lot of our damage came up there with that line of storms earlier. Livingston, Ford, McLean, Iroquois counties. It sounds like that's where a lot of the damage was. And we still got some power outages there that we are got to keep track of. Let me pull back up that site there real quick and kind of just read off some numbers of the outages here in the area. So we'll pull up that here real quick. And yeah, still seeing over 1,000 customers without power in Livingston County. Over 400 there in Ford County as well. The worst of it, oh wow, we're actually getting quite a few going out there in Fayette County right now, about 3,000. So that one, a good chunk of the county is losing power down that direction. With again, this is your strongest storm here in the area. Maybe contesting there with some of them over in Macoupin and Montgomery County, but yeah, anyone down there in Fayette County, Effingham County, probably getting rocked around here just a little bit there with that overnight. That storm now officially crossed into Monday morning here of May the 8th, officially crossed the midnight hour there. Look at our radar image there coming from the St. Louis radar. Looks like things are starting to exit there from Fayette County, south of Effingham into Clay County now. And really starting to see those storms exit Montgomery County here as well. Just kind of putting things in a loop there. Played out for an hour. Everything diving pretty quickly to the south. These storms have a lot more pace to them than what we saw here earlier. Kelly says super windy in Bloomington. Was that from earlier, Kelly, or are you still seeing some of those strong gusts in there? Just curious, because definitely seeing some gusts up that direction, but looked like some of the stuff from earlier there was causing some of those damage. Just curious as to if you've got still got some of those strong winds up there. Courtney says loud indicator, windy with thunder and lightning. Let's pop up here our lightning bolts. Yep, definitely got some lightning there in Decatur. We could pull up the Decatur cam here real quick, just kind of see what's going on there in the kind of the rain concentrated portion of the storm, or the line of storms, I should say. Thunder in Mattoon, says Chad. We'll pull up a sky cam there. Here's a look at Decatur. Maybe I'll see the occasional bolt of lightning in there. Courtney says it's really loud there right now, with some of that thunder and windy conditions as well. I want to pull up the map showing wind gusts. We'll see what those are looking like here at this time of the night. And we'll get that popped on there. Oh yeah, wind really picking up here. Yeah, looking at gusts between 30 and 40 miles an hour. That looks a lot different than what it did even just about 30 minutes ago when we last checked. It was a lot more spotty there when we looked earlier. But yeah, 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts here, even upwards of that in some places. So even though it's just rain, you're getting some strong winds there across the middle part of the area. Where you see purple, that ranges anywhere between 40 and 50 mile an hour gusts. So yeah, definitely feeling the breeze there at the moment. And even up there in the Bloomington area, I know that was Kelly that said that earlier. Yep, definitely seeing some of those strong winds here right now, upwards of 40 miles an hour. And wind direction just kind of going crazy. You see some of those wind particles just kind of taking some weird turns there. Just the nature here of this complex of storms there just kind of really does move all that air every which way there as the individual storms kind of push air out. Of course, you got your general wind flow as well, kind of tossed in there, making for a little bit of a confusing looking wind field there at times. Look there at the St. Louis radar. Again, storms really starting to exit out there. So we're kind of getting to that point there in the night where our storms are kind of at their weakest here, and we really aren't even seeing any strong storms in the area here. And that will remain the case here for a while. We're going to kind of get that lull. Definitely not seeing nothing, though. Like I said, the 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts. Courtney asking when it will be done in Decatur. Probably going to be pretty windy there for much of the night. It'll probably be breezy. Gusts maybe topping out around 40 miles an hour. But as far as legitimate storm chances, looking like things are kind of starting to wrap up there. So that's what we're looking at here right now. So I think we're going to wrap up things here on the stream. Just want to send you guys out here. We'll take one last look at there at Future Track, get you informed here ahead of the night. Again, chances really starting to quiet down now, but kind of keep an eye out on things here tonight. Have your phones or your weather radios there ready to go in case things do pop there into the overnight hours. But we'll watch Future Track here. Kind of mainly just some stratiform rain here across the area as storms begin to exit. But then 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, there you go. That's when that line of storms looks to potentially move on in there and bring some windy conditions as well. And I even just got a notification there from the Weather Service up in across much of the area. Gusty conditions expected here through the night. So they've got that official tag on there. Not a wind advisory or anything, nothing official, but just kind of a general advisory for some stronger winds continuing throughout the night. We're going to play this Future Track out here all the way. Again, 4 or 5 a.m., some storms knocking on the door into the drive time hours there. Sweeping on through, strong winds, some heavy rain there associated with that. So that is what we're anticipating here in the future. I'm just going to kind of take a look there at that notification there from the Weather Service just now to get the details on that, what's expected here tonight. Saying gusts over 40 miles an hour will be common for several hours and should subside there with gusts around 20 miles an hour. Kind of developed a small area of high pressure behind this complex of storm that's kind of dying off there. So you tighten that pressure gradient, you move that air from high pressure to low pressure, and that increases your winds there. So with that, that'll be our closing remarks there. Some gusty winds here tonight, but no active storms here really causing too much of a stir. So with that, I think we're going to wrap things up here. Of course, Adam will be sticking around through the morning. If things do pick up again with that line of storms, we'll get you covered again here on our digital platforms. And again, stay safe tonight, everybody. Make sure you have multiple ways of receiving your weather alerts. And again, hope you all have a good night, and we will catch you again here on the morning shows, if not there a little sooner there on the stream. So